The University of Arizona has a budget deficit of nearly $200 million. How did the U of A's finances get so out of whack, and what's being done to correct the problem and see that it doesn't happen again? Fred Duvall is a chairman of the Arizona Board of Regents, which oversees the state's universities. Good to have you here. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
$240 million, now down to $177. We're still talking money here.
It's big money.
What happened?
Well, it's big money. 2 points of context first. It's $177 million against a base of $2.4 billion. It is a big number, but this is not going to disrupt the university's ability to succeed. We just have to manage our way through it. Secondly, higher education is being challenged across the country. You will see many universities announcing budget deficits. There are some just dynamics having to do with the withdrawal of state support, flat enrollment, other things which are driving challenges. In addition, we have some unique factors at the U of A which are quite severe. Number one, we have a distributed model of the way we do budgets where there are 81 different budget units, and somehow the university did not have eyesight on how they were spending. 61 of the 81 were borrowing against reserves, sort of an unbelievable loss of some control. We are certainly taking steps to fix that. Number two, Ted, and I know you come from an athletics background, outside of the SEC, every university is losing money in athletics.
Yeah.
The model is broken. We're losing money in athletics, and one of the things we've got to do is find a new athletic director that knows how to create a self-sustaining model. And third, just if I can, is they were buying excellence. Everybody's addicted to rankings. So pushing money into research, which is a slow ROI, pushing money into financial aid to merit scholars across the United States to keep the quality of their students up. All good things, but not financially supportable.
Did this build over time, or was this a quick hit?
A little of both. It accelerated quickly. Here's what we didn't see. Our tool, which is clearly now proven insufficient, was cash on hand, days cash on hand. It was enough for Moody's, it's enough for the rating agencies, it's enough for the state auditor, but it camouflaged things, and in particular, the arrival of huge federal COVID money sort of hid what was going on underneath it, because the cash on hand situation looked pretty good. So it was happening, but we couldn't see it with the tools that we had. And then you had two other sort of things. You had a year where inflation was 6.5%, but the tuition increase was 3%. Pretty big gap. Every third or fourth year, you have a 27th payday in the cycle. Happened to fall last year. These things all sort of accumulated into a storm.
The cash on hand, though, exaggerated by some 30% or so.
Yes.
Again, how does that happen?
Yes.
I mean, hidden, I guess, a little bit, but 30%.
It was this lack of tools monitoring these 81 budget units and the extent to which they were in their each individual pursuit of excellence, borrowing against reserves. And we didn't see the aggregate until we asked them to look at that. And once we spotted it, we jumped into the fray.
So what do you, I mean, obviously, it doesn't sound like a wheel and spoke kind of situation there, correct? It's in terms of centralizing the budget?
No, that's right. And that is goal number one.
I was going to say.
Centralize the budget.
Yes.
Get eyesight on it. And what you're going to see is a number of things. We're going to start cutting from the top. The president has agreed that he's going to take a salary cut. We're going to eliminate some administrative bloat. One thing I want to make clear to viewers that we will not do. This is like any business that you run. When you're in this kind of a situation, you either raise revenue or you cut costs. We're not going to raise tuition. Off the table. Revenue is off the table. So this has all got to be done on the cost side.
I'm seeing hiring freeze, projects deferred, and again, no more. But what about tuition guarantees?
Tuition guarantees, we are guaranteeing that every student currently enrolled will not have any change in the package that they have. We are looking at changing that package going forward.
Okay, and I've seen 27 million have been, about 27 million already cut. What's been cut other than the president's salary?
Those are all freezing of hiring freezes, travel freezes,
okay.
Construction freezes, all things that were sort of cash going out the door that we could stop.
The governor said that there was a lack of accountability, there was a lack of transparency, there was a lack of leadership. You agree with that?
Look, she's right to be concerned. We were shocked when we heard it too. We obviously wish we had found it earlier. Our tools didn't give us that. We're going to get new tools. She has properly said, look, I want to get this fixed. We own it, and we will fix it on our watch.
She also wants a third-party consultant to come in. How's that working out?
She's asked us for a few things. She's asked us for a third-party consultant that is being announced, I think maybe even today, but immediately. Secondly, she asked us to absolutely not raise tuition, and we will certainly honor that ask as well.
I've seen some complaints down in Tucson that the board, the Board of Regents, the executive director is basically John Arnold. He's now the U of A's chief financial officer. They see conflict of interest. They don't seem very happy about that.
Right.
What's your message to them?
Two things. The third-party audits will certainly, I hope, create confidence in the numbers. And second, John Arnold is the most experienced public budget person in the state of Arizona. He got Arizona through the terrible crisis that it faced in 2008 as the budget director. He knows how to do this. His work ought to be checked. It needs to be checked by the board. It needs to be checked by the auditor. It needs to be checked by the constituents on campus. But he knows how to do this.
So when they're concerned that there's not that Board of Regents and the U of A and a troubled U of A, and obviously 177 million is no spare change here, right. They're concerned about no separation there.
I understand. That's really where the third-party auditor comes in, and our homework will be public. We are going to be as transparent as possible in everything that we do.
As last question here, and you mentioned athletics because there was concern that U of A will be stopping some of their, and that's all they got going half the time down there too. Come on, let's face it. Their athletic situation is a public service practically. What can you do about that? These athletic budgets are going nuts.
They are going nuts. It is a drug. Everybody's on it. We are all racing off the cliff. And here's the problem. I'm trying to do this briefly. You can either chase it, and when you fill a football stadium and a basketball stadium, which this year Arizona was doing, got a bowl game in football and obviously got a great basketball team. You fill the stadiums, that revenue percolates and supports every other sport on campus and more. So everybody wants that. That requires winning in order to fill the stadium. The other way you do it is that you go on the cheap and you hire much less expensive coaches, and the good ones will get snatched 2 or 3 years into their tenure, and you rotate them through. We're going to try and make this work, and the new athletic director is the way we're going to try and do it.
Last question: 177 million now, down from 248. When does it get down to really manageable levels? And I mean nothing.
Yeah, it took us a couple of years to get in. It'll take us a couple of years to get out. But there will be steady progress. We will show the numbers. We will see. It'll be demonstrable within 6 months. But so much of this is tied to the incoming class, which isn't until next fall. You've got payroll, people until July. So you can't turn the off switch on a lot of these things or the on switch. What you can do is moderate and catch them in the budget cycle, and we will, and it'll be as fast as we can operate the change.
Fred Duvall, Chairman of the Arizona Board of Regents. Good conversation. Good to have you here. Thanks for joining us.
Always. Thank you.